Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name is Adam, and as always, I'm here with my mate Baker. How are you doing this evening, mate?
Good, mate. Good. We got no points, but
well, not many people have points. A few do.
Nah.
Depends on what chips you're on and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, a few do.
Few do.
You do.
Oh, someone with points.
So that's why you got me on, right?
Exactly. We needed someone to have some points on the pod this week. So
it increases the average. That's what I'm saying.
You got more than both of us, just in there.
I got 42. I don't know what you guys are rocking.
Yeah,
we got 41 net.
Oh, should I just go?
It's a good start. So for anybody listening on audio, you won't be able to see who we've got on as a guest this evening. So we have got Ollie. He is at the Reev HD on Twitter. He is a football YouTube content creator, and you do podcasts, videos, all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah, that was way more generous than I actually probably deserve credit for. So yeah, I have a podcast, and
we're nice
once
people.
upon a time uploaded some videos. So yeah,
we're nice people. Well, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the stream. So we're also on YouTube at the moment. So good evening to everyone in the stream. So what do we want to talk about to start with, guys?
Well, the week, shall we?
Do you want to touch on the week?
We're just
only halfway through. You know, look on the bright side. It's not too bad.
We're only halfway through. Well, lead us off, Ollie, mate. I mean, how's your week gone so far?
Well, I have Cristiano Ronaldo, so obviously I'm smiling. If you don't, I think it's kind of an unfortunate place to be. So that is my team. Yes.
Yeah. That is your team.
As if by magic.
Double our points. It could have had more, couldn't it? Really?
It could have had more. If Bruno Guimaraes didn't hit Kasper Schmeichel 4 times before the ball going in the back of the net, Dan Burn would have had an assist. So that is a shame.
I like that. Do it again. The Guimaraes.
Guimaraes.
Guimaraes, is that?
I don't know if that's the pronunciation.
Have you just made up? That's how we pronounce it.
I'm pretty sure it's how. Yeah, I don't know though. But it's Portuguese, isn't it? So I would presume. I don't know.
We'll take it.
I'm
Not
sure
Bruno
Az
G.
knows what the pronunciation is.
I bet you Az knows what it is, mate. I bet he has.
I bet he calls him something different.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's a good team. You're on free hit. So you got any other chips left to come?
Wildcard and bench boost. I do.
Yeah. So
I see some names. I see some competitors in the group chat of the stream as well.
Oh, they
so
go.
Who have we got this then? Is this the guys, the burnt chip? Is that what's that? Will NE and WTS?
It is, yeah.
They're your boys. Good. So we've also got Steve Ball, Michael Flattery's in the chat, Mike Alpin, as always, FPL River, and John as well. So and FPL Dalmatian. So welcome to everyone that's watching. Obviously a very competitive time of day, this one, to actually have a stream. So yeah, cheers for coming and joining us. That's really, really appreciated. So yeah, just off to your optimized. So it's looking quite pretty.
Above, mate. That's what that says.
Is that me?
That's you.
That's you, yeah.
Whoa. And that's what I was supposed to have received by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were supposed to be at about 11 points ahead of the top 10k, and you're actually sitting 20 points ahead of the top 10k. So you're on a decent green arrow.
Yeah.
At the moment.
A captain blank though. Imagine if I put it on the right one. That's what you're supposed to say, right? Isn't it?
And you're not projected to go further forward on this. Is this because I suppose the single game week players that are playing it? You got no City?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Cancelo, Trent, Robertson could absolutely destroy me. So,
well, mate, at least you've got the points ahead, mate, because we have not. No free hits, a killer in it.
No free hits, a killer. Your team, Baker?
It's bad. I look like I've got Bruno captain versus Norwich. I brought him in, but then you're like, oh, that hasn't worked out, and I haven't got Salah now.
He was playing drop. He was dropping between Maguire and
I've just seen what Pukki's just done to Tellers and Maguire, and I'm like, oh God. So this doesn't look too good, but luckily Veghorst today has got me out of it a little bit, which was completely a bit extra than expected. So it's not good, mate, but we'll see how it goes. A lot of it's going to be if James turns up in midweek, really, and what he does.
I mean, what is he in the top 10K, like ownership wise?
Oh, he's still about 30-odd%, between 30-40%. He's about 40% owned, but not as much as that because of free hits and stuff. So he's about 30% owned this week, I think.
Yeah, because he's down
but
at
Rudiger offsets a lot.
True.
So,
well, I've got him at 15% at my rank, luckily.
Yeah.
But, mine is an absolute disaster. And it's going to get worse. It's just going to get a whole lot worse when it comes to
it's bad.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday is not going to be too good. I'm currently 4.5 points behind, and I'm projected to go down to 15.5 points behind. I spend my whole, like the last 10 weeks I've spent like underneath that red line. It's not been fun.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Wait, so how many have you got left to play?
So I have no idea. That's how much I've paid attention this week. I have got. So I've still got Pope to play again. I've got James, Laporte, Cher, Cancelo at the back. I've still got Saka and Martinelli. Like
you're only like an absolute a City smashing Brighton away from resurrecting.
Yeah.
Cancelo and Laporte could easily swing that.
Yeah, and that would be nice. I wouldn't mind that. I kind of hope my triple Tottenham was going to do that, because I was starting the game week with 5 players playing against Brighton at home this week. I was like, this is nice. I like this. But Tottenham were bad. So, yeah, the only return that I've got is Emmanuel Dennis. He's third on my bench. So it's not, well, I say he's third. I've got Rafinha on the bench, but he's not coming on. He's not coming on.
It's done, mate.
Captain's son. So
It's done.
It's done.
3 hits won, mate. They've already won the week. Like they've big time won. We looked at live FPL earlier. But
to be honest, I think the saving grace was just Everton beating United. I think if United if United win that game 3-0, everyone's getting 1 or 2 United assets, and everyone's
I think you're right. Yeah,
because of the loss. So it was perfect timing, really, to be honest.
So free hit average is 40 points basically, and non-free hits 18 points.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We're all pretty close to those, right?
That's a massive, more than double the score is huge.
That is ridiculous.
Huge. 3 guys in the top 10K played their triple captain, and one of them did it on Bruno and not Fernandes.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
really?
One of them was, right? One of them was Fernandes and the other one was Guimaraes. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Incredible. So where are we going?
Well, we were going to look at the chip usage now, just to see, where we stand with 5 weeks to go. Are we 5 weeks? 34, 35, 36, 37, 38? Yeah, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So in the top 10K, what was that? 1,140 managers used their second free hit this week. 352 managers used their first. So they've still got one in the bank. There's still 100 managers with 2 free hits left, which is
a lot of patience.
Mental.
That is a lot of patience.
Does that mean there's 4 managers with 4 chips left with 5 weeks to play? The top 10K.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. There's 4.
You'd think they'd have to free hit next week, 34, surely.
That's
doesn't make sense to do any of the week.
Well, they've got 2 free hits and they can't use them consecutively.
Exactly, yeah.
So they've either got a free hit or they've got to go. Well, they've got a free hit, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
They've got a free hit 34, wildcard 35, bench boost 36, and then free hit 37 or 38.
Yeah, maybe free hit the last game week.
Oh, that sounds like some
Send it.
big green.
I tell you what though, like most people that have got wildcard left have got another chip as well. So you've got 2 chips, haven't you? So that basically say there's 25%, or just under 25% of the top 10K. I've got two chips left. That's pretty good. That's
to be that position as well, and still have.
Yeah. Yeah, madman. But there's a lot of us with just that one chip left now. And yeah, 1 in 5 has chipped out. That's hard, isn't it? Like not having a free hit out. At the moment, I'm sitting here and I hate my game week 34 team. And I hate it because of what it looks like going forward. But I'm at least sitting there thinking, I've got to get out at some point. I've got this get out free hit that says, and I'm kind of hopeful that City drop into 36 rather than 37. So that's the only fixture in it that's left. Are you? Because you've got bench boost, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
And wildcard.
I feel like going another. We did speak a little bit briefly before we started, but like going into another game week, having to hold value on the bench.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
It's just that place, isn't it? That if you've got bench boost left, then I think you like that ability that you can just play and have all the good players in, so you can load up on City, load up on Liverpool. If they ended up in 37, then it'd be like, oh, this is difficult now because what do I do to get to City in 37? You want a free hit then, don't you? So,
and obviously having City with a double in 36, when everybody else of the big teams does have a double, you can kind of take a random benching on the chin a little bit better as well. Whereas in 37, Robertson gets dropped for Tsimikas, for example. You have no points from Robertson at all, like in the game, so you're down to 14 players. So yeah,
exactly. That's definitely
two roll of the dice, really, isn't it? So
your wildcard 34, bench boost 36.
Yeah, I would presume so.
Yeah. Cool. Ollie, someone's just said that they can't hear you very well, so I don't know whether it's your microphone or
oh, really?
What.
Okay, I'll try.
Whether you can just be a bit closer or something like that, but that's all.
Is that a bit better? Am I a bit louder?
That's miles better, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do we want to go into your? Should we have a little look at your wildcard team then?
If you want to.
Well, that's why we've got you.
It changes constantly, so
I mean, it's on the thumbnail.
Be ideal.
It's on the thumbnail, mate. We should probably go there.
Okay, sure.
It's probably worthwhile getting there.
So, talk us through it, mate. This is your initial draft, or this is, I say initial. I mean, you said you'd already done about 45 before you sent us one across, and then you changed it. Like, I asked you yesterday, and you sent me one across, and then you went, "Yep, here's a new one."
Yeah.
So, talk us through it.
It was very much dependent on what was going to happen in today's game with Palace. Obviously, it would have been a little less Chelsea heavy, I think, to start with. Obviously, I'd try and get them in for 36, but them having a single next week, I probably wouldn't have tripled up immediately, maybe. But I mean, is it that exciting? I don't really know. I've gone big at the back, as you can probably see, but the Robertson spot is up for debate. Now, if you can think of any good options that I could put in there that you like, I'm all ears.
Straight away. So, for audio, guys, so at the moment we've got Schmeichel and Foster in goal.
Sorry. Sorry.
And then the full big at the back. So, Robbo, Trent, Cancelo, Laporte, James.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang. So, you're playing 5 every week at the back.
Pretty much.
Foden, Mount, Salah, Havertz, KDH.
Yeah.
And then Watkins, Dennis, Pukki.
Yes. Watkins is definitely questionable as well. I might go Richarlison, which leaves another Villa spot up somewhere else. I don't know though. The thing is, I can navigate 34, 35 quite well, just playing like 5-4-1 and sticking Pukki up top both game weeks. It's just the striker spots aren't really producing points at all. So I don't know if I want to just put as much money as I can into midfield and then just tank them a bit more. I don't know.
This leaves you like 0.3 in the bank, I think it is.
So let me double check. I think it probably does. You're right.
I know I'm right.
I've changed.
He knows it's not. Yeah. I mean, where does that go? We got the top 10K template. Can we have a look at that?
Yeah, we can have a look at that. Let's
have a look at that and just see, well, what does that do in terms of opening up? Like, how far away are you getting from others?
Yeah.
Cool.
So Ramsdale, so that means that you'll go against Ramsdale in a double header when
I have no confidence in us keeping a clean sheet for the rest of the season. Maybe the Leeds game. Beyond that, I think that it's just not a choice anymore.
And for those that don't know you, who do you support?
I'm an Arsenal fan, so this is well supported by 90 minutes of watching pain recently each week.
That's big.
Yeah,
that's big. So
I mean, ever since we lost Partey, just knowing that we have Tavares and Cedric as our two best fullbacks, it gives so much chance creation to opposition teams. We saw it. I mean, blatantly at Palace, but even more so going forwards. I just don't think we have enough to keep clean sheets.
It's gonna hurt us, both teams, isn't it? Like for us as Tottenham and for you is the fullback, wing-back positions are weak, and they do hurt. They especially hurt when you see people like this on this list of Trent, Cancelo, James, Robertson, and you just think we're so far off that. So Ramsdale's out, not there. And I think that's a good one to punt against. Definitely think that's a good one to punt against. Looking at what they've got going forward. Trent, Cancelo, Robertson, James, so 4 of the 5.
Yeah.
Laporte means that if you're looking for one that you're going to then, hey, I'm definitely going to gain off of a clean sheet for City.
Laporte's the only one I'm carrying through, by the way, from my previous team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Reece James as well. The Trent, Robertson, and Cancelo are all new additions, pretty much.
They can't have come out long ago, though. Like 30.
No, they didn't. I think they came out for blank game week 30.
Yeah.
And then I'm obviously back to them because
no,
it's ridiculous assets.
Just normal dead ending. That's fine.
Yeah.
I like it though. And then the very popular, I suppose, Saka and Kulusevski, who are very popular, and you're effectively moving those to Havertz and Mount.
Basically.
Yeah.
So it was Son, Kulusevski, and Saka moving to Foden, Mount, and Havertz, pretty much. Yeah,
it's good, isn't it? Though it's a more rounded, should we say, of the three, but you've got the full triple up on.
Yes.
On Chelsea straight out.
I just don't think Chelsea keep a clean sheet in those 2 games for 34. So I'd sooner double up on Havertz and Mount and hope they're just quite high scoring rather than double up with Rudiger, who I know he gets 50 shots off a game, but in games like those against West Ham and Man United, are just tentative defensive.
That is a lot of, I guess they are high owned, like 60%. Saka's like 80%, and they will all drop in this next week.
Yeah,
because people aren't just going to ignore this Chelsea thing. Mount's going to be the most popular transfer in this week.
I would imagine so. Yeah, especially with him scoring against Palace.
Yeah, you can just see that Mount and James would be big transfers in. KDH in for Maddison effectively as your bench fodder that goes for 36, and then no Kane. So no Tottenham, no Arsenal.
I'm very scared of losing Son. I do have an alternative draft with Son and
no Foden. So that is
no Foden. Yeah, so no City attack, and I just think that Watford fixture is so.
So where are you pulling? Because
so juicy.
You've got to find 3 million there to make that happen, though, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. So it would be Son, Saka, and like Alonso instead of Robertson at the back.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
I'd transition Havertz back to Alonso, and then keep Son and Saka. But I don't know if I want Saka. The Leeds fixture is really good, but around 36. It's not, I don't see him getting many points.
It's that double in 36 though again, and it's
Yeah.
like Leeds and then the North London derby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a risk on those ones, but I like it. You've got to take some risks on this. If you're just going to stay the same one, what's the point? You've got to try and work. Where do we try and make some advantages?
That's what I was thinking. I've seen so many people that, like wildcarded 26, 28, and I have the potential to make my team similar to successful teams that, are like top 10K that have Kane, Kulu, Son, whoever, plus sort of the template backline. But that doesn't really increase my rank. Like there's no change there. I'm almost playing to hold a grey for the rest of the season, and it just doesn't make much sense. So the way I see it, I'm aiming for top 10K, and 10,001 to 1 million is the exact same in my head.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference. So I'd sooner just, throw as much as I can towards attacking the rest of the season and then see what happens.
And you're at 43K now, roughly, right? So
yep.
As of now. Cool. Yeah, that was just being asked in the chat. So
right. You got to push. I think double Chelsea attack is definitely the way to push.
I started this week at 64. So it's a few good weeks, really, isn't it?
You were always going to game with a free hit, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. But that's what I'm hoping that the wildcard does, and a bit of positive variance, and I potentially can break into it, but it's difficult.
I just feel like the wildcard's such a massive chip at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so big.
It's huge.
But not even for the sense of I can overhaul my team to one that I want, is I can bring players in that everyone's going for, but they're 4 points down to do that.
Yeah, and that's part of it, isn't it? This does feel a bit like it gains 20 points on most just because of the hits.
Exactly.
If I look at my team and I'm looking at that, and actually what you do is you put in their heads that you gamble or twist. So I'm looking at it and go, do I have to gamble here and not get these in and not take the hits because actually I've only got a short number of weeks against it? And actually that's where you can get real massive ownership gains on these ones. Because that's what happened with the Ronaldo one this weekend, wasn't it? Was that people didn't take that gamble.
Yep.
And I think there's ones like Havertz.
It was booking an extra transfer to get rid of him, right? So people just decided against it, and then he went and scored 3 goals. So
yeah, and this gamble. So we should caveat on this one is what you're looking at here is based on City doubling in 36.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it would change much if they were 37?
I'd probably remove Foden and go like Coutinho or Maddison. Maybe potentially get rid of Laporte because I don't think I'd need the double City defense up to 36. I don't know who I'd put in though at that point. Maybe like Matty Cash, somebody. I'm trying to think. No real standouts. That's the problem, is there?
I think Cash isn't the world's worst option there.
Yeah.
I think you've got to go there, and it's interesting that forward piece because you've got this bench boost, and it keeps you in this. I've got to spend some money up top. I think there is an argument to look at, say, even considering Gelhardt and just going, do you know what? How much do I really need on my bench, and just hope for some luck in that.
Yeah.
Double. I still think it's an option to look at and just go, I'm going to go one less. And see what that is rather than have two that are not there. But I think if you are going to have two, Dennis looks an all right option. Pukki, they're all right options.
Yeah, but that's such as the state of the forward line this year. It's all meh. Like points per million, who cares? They don't score points.
They're sort of talisman though in their rights.
Yes, the people that I've picked are Watkins takes penalties provided Ings doesn't start. Pukki, he's the goal. Like all of the Norwich goals come from him. He's penalty taker. Dennis, it's like we said earlier. Watford have nothing to lose now. They're already relegated, so there could be a slight resurgence in form towards the end of the season to try and give their fans something to go out of the Premier League with. And their double's not bad, you know. They've got
Palace and Everton,
Palace and Everton, which, you know, both teams, well, Everton less so, but Palace certainly don't need to be at their best.
Yeah,
They're safe. So, yeah,
it's funny we moan about the forwards, but I saw a tweet earlier that said something like that. With Pukki, Dennis, and Tony, it's the first time that the 3 promoted teams have all had a scorer that's got 10 goals or more in like 6-7 seasons. They've actually done all right. Those those guys that have come up, they've actually ticked over. Does kind of tell me. I know we're all going to get Mitrovic trapped again next season, but
for sure,
like they do. If you just leave them for a while and just let them just carry on doing their thing, they are still the focal of their team, and they are still cheap, and actually they will do an all right job. And I wonder how many times. I wonder if we just left the 2 of them and just left them all season, and just said, work it out. We might have been all right.
Yeah, hindsight, but yeah, I mean, we could have just had all 3 of those and just left them.
Yeah.
What do you think of Rodrigo, out of interest, from Leeds?
The thing I notice actually when he scores is that, like, he can take bonus pretty quickly because he actually is quite, you know, Firmino-esque a little bit in how he plays, and that he does a bit of creative work, he does a bit of work, but he does like a booking too, which doesn't always help him.
Because that Watkins spot has room to be either Richarlison or Rodrigo, which would give me more money to maneuver into midfield, I think.
The thing on that 35 thing, Watkins could be your captain in 35 though.
Yeah, he could.
It could easily be the captain that you went for in that space, because he has got Norwich. Is there any standouts now in that 35 week?
There's potential to go
Son and Kane with
Foden
Leicester,
or like Mount, Havertz, etc.
It's Son and Kane in between those European ties. In between the European
Leicester.
ties. Yeah. That's the one I think that will stand out, other than probably Salah. And I think
would God, I've got no Salah. Yeah. I've got no Salah.
I'm debating. I know it sounds crazy, but I am debating not having Mo and potentially having that spot filled by either Jota or Diaz, and just hoping that they can kind of cover the points between now and the end of the season, which is a big risk, but that's what you know.
Are you just trying to give yourself more options in midfield there, or is it a case of that there's a premium that you want to get at? Because
I'd love KDB, to be honest. If I can get to KDB, that's the aim. I don't like Foden as the option, but again, I can't not have a Man City attacker for the running because they need goal difference.
Salah, Foden versus Jota, KDB.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
so you could have Jota and
well, Jota KDB, and probably keeps me Son as well. Actually, if anything.
And what about even like Mane?
Again, I mean, he's playing well.
What is he, 12 and a half? Is he still 12 and a half?
I think he sends KDB, right? 11-7?
I've got a feeling he's 11-7. I'll go check that. But in my head, when it said it, 11-7 was the number.
Yeah, he is.
It's a lot of money. But that 35 captain is so Man City away to Leeds, Newcastle, Liverpool away to Newcastle. But it's those having no Tottenham in that week is going to that's high owns.
Yeah, I mean, there's a large chance that I still carry Son through this because I think that he does just score really well for the rest of the season, and maybe after 35, I change Son to somebody else to attack 36 because I'm not confident with Son returning as effectively as other options in 36, but for 35, he's pretty much A1 at that point.
You don't want him in the game against Arsenal. That's what it is.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you ask me on, thing is, look, we look at XG every week and we just say that City and Liverpool are just better than everyone else. But if I suggested Coutinho, who's got Leicester before they play in Europe, and then got Norwich after, and Son, who's got Brentford and then has got Leicester in that game, and said, if you're not going to captain Salah and you're not going to captain Foden in those 2 game weeks, could you just set up with Son and Coutinho?
Absolutely.
And have the money.
Yeah.
And still then come out of it and then work it through then. I guess the one thing I'd be really nervous about on Wildcard this week is that you knee-jerk to something in 35.
Yeah.
Because then you've just ruined your advantage. The whole idea is that you set this platform up that means you're good for 36. Son and Coutinho have doubles in 36. So in the worst case situation that you keep them because somebody else gets injured and I've got to try and find other ways, it's not the most horrendous thing that. I haven't seen any wild card things that probably have those players in them, but it's definitely something I'd probably just think about 35 as much as 34 in that sense of how do I get to that thing of 36. I don't think you can think that much about 37. I think we just have to try and look at what.
Yeah, no, I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. I think even when I hit 37, I have more than enough capable players to score well in that week, regardless of if everybody else is free hitting or whatnot. I'm bringing in whoever. Yeah,
no one.
If I carry 2 Chelsea, 2 Villa, and Everton, enough. I'll probably end up with 7, maybe 8 doublers. That's
No one in 36 has a bad game in 37, so it's not really
exactly.
It's not really a huge issue.
No.
Yeah,
definitely not.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm leaning towards maybe ditching Salah more so now than ditching Son after having that conversation.
Mate, I haven't got Salah in my team, so I'm just going to try and propaganda this through. But
I have the reason why Son's not already gone in the drafts that I've shown you is because I've got like 0.3 tied up in him.
Yeah.
So if I want to make the decision to get rid of Sonny, it has to be very
last minute
as possible because I can't get
those
back.
Locks, they tie us in. We've got the commitments.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you wouldn't have to worry about price, right? Price drops, so you'd be fine there anyway. So
yeah. No, I think he's got. He's in a what's the word? Like a surplus of purchases anyway, so he's not coming down.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
And we think so. We've got one fixture left, which is the City one. We should hear this week, but I don't reckon we find out on Friday if we do find out on this one, because the 2 spots that this could go in is the Wednesday, the 11th of May in the game week 36.
Mm-hmm.
And Sky's got the rights. So it's where does Sky want the most money from this? The other place it could put it is on the Thursday, the 19th. So on the 11th, the only game on that Wednesday, the 11th, so that's a day after Liverpool play. So that feels right in the title race. That it's the closest. You're not like going ages of space. And it also feels right because it doesn't mean that City have to play Thursday, then Sunday at the end of the season. So that feels the right place to put it. And it's Chelsea Leeds on that Wednesday. So Leeds are now safe. So when they originally would have put that in, Leeds were in a bit of trouble. They're not now. They're safe. Yeah. And Chelsea will have the cup final on the weekend and probably top 4 secured. So probably will rest a load of players. So that to me says everything about it from a football decision is go then.
And a commercial decision, right?
And a commercial decision. The commercial decision is heightened if that Thursday, the 19th, is the relegation battle still on. Because Burnley play on that Thursday and Everton play on that Thursday. So that's a fantastic double header to play to have those 2 out and about if it's still a relegation race. If nothing to play for, those Thursday games are pretty rank. So it wouldn't surprise me if they wait until Burnley and Everton play this week and Burnley don't play till Thursday. and then they announce it on Friday. So kind of need Burnley to win against Southampton on Thursday.
Which would give City dropping in 36 the highest chance.
Yeah, I think so. But Chelsea winning to make that game pretty much dead. And also don't forget it's that Chelsea play Arsenal this week. So if Chelsea beat you boys,
not confident.
Then that's them done, in it. If they beat you guys,
yeah.
There's no way us two are catching it. So I just think 36 just it feels the right thing to do. 37 is just going, these games are a bit shit, so I'm just going to put something else in there. So I reckon that's how we are going in it. So, yeah, 34, 35. That 35 captains, that's the only thing on Wildcard is people are going to load up on Tottenham in 35. And do you want to carry them to 36 if you're not free hitting? And so if you take, I would say like my team is the antithesis of the wild card right now, where I've got no City.
Yeah.
I've now currently only got Trent as my only Liverpool. I'll be looking to bring in Chelsea in 34. So I'll go into 35, probably again with no City and probably only Trent. So I'm like, I am absolutely free hitting in 36. So what I want to do is load up on players that have good fixtures in 35 and 37.
Yeah.
So Villa, for example, is Watkins up top's good for me. And 80% are in my zone effectively of the top 10k. Now I think you've got a massive advantage. I'd much rather do it your way, because I'm going to have players from crap teams for 4 weeks and from good teams in 1 week. You're going to have players from great teams in 4 weeks, and then and then still have them in the other week. You're going to have 5 weeks of great teams. And I think your great teams will do better than my good teams. I've got to try and hope for the bit of luck with the odd Veghorst type goals and the Watkins or Coutinho type hauls and maybe a Mateta haul in 37 and all that crap. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
And Adam's got to try and work out when a bench boost as well. He's got to try and fit that in.
Adam, are you thinking 36 as well for you? Or
I think that's the only real option for me, to be honest. And then just see what upside I can get on 37 with a free hit. I mean, it doesn't really bother me whether City are in 36 or 37, because I've got two and I'm unlikely to move off them at the moment. And I've got no Liverpool now. I've got triple Spurs. So, I mean, those three Tottenham players are unlikely to change. Apart maybe Kulusevski might come out, I think now, and I'll probably want to go in just with Son and Kane. But
I would. Yeah.
But I think 36 is going to be target for bench boost. So that's the thing now for me, though, is every move that I'm making now is just getting to 36 with as many doublers as possible.
Yeah.
But again, like the fixtures, the only bad fixtures really for 36 and 38, if I'm going to free hit in 37, is probably Villa. So I'd probably just really have to avoid Villa, because otherwise it's like Norwich and Watford have got Tottenham and Chelsea. Liverpool got Wolves, Chelsea, Watford, Tottenham have got Norwich. I've got no issues there. Even the two Arsenal guys that I've got. I mean, I'm probably going to bin Martinelli this week, but even that Leeds Tottenham double I don't mind, and then Everton last day is fine. So I think bench boost 36 and then 37 free hit. Just try and get as much as I can from that, and just I need to have a look again at that mini league that I'm in, because that might change. It might change it depending on who I'm facing in. I might just throw a rogue one in 35 if I feel like I need to win that game.
Yeah,
genuinely. I mean, my rank's at a point where I celebrated Nick Pope making a save and getting a point, keeping me inside the top 300k earlier. So, I'm quite happy just to sort of play the mini league now. Last 5 weeks, I made some poor decisions. Well, poor. Yeah, I made some bad decisions.
You had fun, mate. You had fun.
Yeah, loads of fun while Salah got 84 points. It was loads of fun.
Did you see? Yeah, I'm guessing you TC'd him for 26.
No,
right?
Trent.
Oh,
Yeah, and I wildcard in 26, so I had him captain at least, but not that on me.
Yeah.
Can I just check on Chelsea
What do you need?
assets then? So priority order for people that, let's say people don't have any, because there's effectively Rudiger, James, Mount, Havertz, Werner.
I think Werner's in there.
Yeah.
I genuinely think Werner's in there.
And if you had to go on you've got none, who do you prioritise and get in first this week?
I would wait for the Arsenal match to be played first before making any moves on Chelsea players. The only reason why I say this is because James would be number one for me. However, if he plays 90 against Arsenal, I'm tentative that he probably gets,
Did he not play right centre back again today?
He did.
Isn't that like 4 games in a row now as well?
He did, but I'm told that was to quell the threat of Wilfred Zaha. However, going forward, he will return to right wing back. So I wouldn't be too upset about him currently playing there.
Just looking at their fixtures coming up. So West Ham, Man U, Everton. There's no one down that left hand. Well, Sancho's
been playing on the left. Could be Sancho against United away.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Everton or West Ham on the left hand side anyway. Bowen's on the right, and then
I think the thing is though, I think him at right centre back, the way that he plays, I could imagine baseline will be good.
Yeah,
if he plays it. And actually, if anything, I feel like that almost makes it. I think he will play the full double. I think they've got to play him. They've got nothing else left now. I think they need to just start playing him and start doing what they need to do. You can't have a player as good as him and just keep going, oh, maybe we play him, maybe we don't. They've got to play him. They're just a much better team when he plays.
I'm just saying there's always cause for concern.
Yeah.
Just because of the injury nature that he came back off. So
is it just that Leeds game that's going to cause a problem though? Is it just before the cup final?
Yeah, he's not playing Leeds, mate.
Yeah.
There's no way he plays that game. If he does, I would be partially annoyed that Tuchel's that kind of manager because he seems smart enough to me that he'd just rest him for.
Yeah, playing that.
He's got to play against Luis Diaz. I mean, come on.
He's not playing that, mate.
Yeah. I'd say top asset for me, defensively James, and then offensively Mason Mount. And there's so many avenues for points from that guy that it's hard to ignore.
As long as they set up correctly, I think Mount. Yeah.
Rudiger's so interesting in it because he just plays all the time.
It's true.
He had a bit of a groin knock at the end, but I think he went on a run after, so I think he was okay.
I saw that. He just came back on, ran about 40 yards and took a shot or something like that.
Of course he did. Of
course he did. The contract situation I do find quite interesting because the fact is that he could leave, and we've seen it when if they get top 4 and he's leaving, why keep playing him?
Yeah,
play Saar. Is bring him in. That's the potential. But if he does want to leave, there's the thing that if they do play him, he's in the shop window. He knows every goal he scores, every mazy run that he does that goes 60 yards if he bangs one in. Just
adds a zero,
Adds a zero, doesn't it? So I actually think if you think that he's going to stay in the team, and everything to me suggests it does, because he's not taking a disliking to Christensen. He's not taking a disliking to Rudiger over this situation. I think Rudiger suddenly becomes slightly better, and I do not like Rudiger as an asset.
I don't personally.
The thing for me is he's never in the bonus conversation. So that unless he scores, and even then, even when he scores, he didn't get any bonus the other time because they didn't keep clean. So I think Mount would be above him.
Yep.
But Havertz and Werner are the fun.
Yeah, especially Timo. Timo, if that guy converts, he could come away with 21 points a game. It's ridiculous. especially against poorer defenses as well, where he gets the opportunity to run.
I don't think they can replace his pace either.
That's the thing.
I think that Lukaku can play for Havertz and they can work it. I think that Havertz can switch out a bit further right and then Timo goes up top. But I don't think they can get away from his pace. And I like Timo better.
Yep. Dan Havertz.
I do.
Even for the 0.7 extra.
I do, because I'd rather have another midfielder.
That's fair.
You looked at your lineup earlier.
I did consider a Werner draft, actually. I might have saved one.
If you switched out on your Dennis, or if you switched out Dennis, for example, to Werner, I bet you can get a better midfielder.
Do you reckon? I'd have to choke down some money somewhere else. Though probably the Robertson spot, I think.
Look at him. We don't need to push him out now. Start doing the transfers in it, but
We could do it.
But we could. But I would be tempted.
I think if I went Werner, it'd have to be no Salah, which is interesting. But maybe Robertson and Trent.
Yeah, because you need 2.5 million.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not Watkins. You can't be that overprecious about him either.
Yeah, that's again, Werner could be that Watkins spot.
Well, would you rather have, because it's probably about the same, Coutinho and Werner or Watkins and Havertz? I think I like Coutinho and Werner, mate. If I was to
I don't know.
Is it Kai time? He did do well end of last season, Kai.
He did. Timo and Coutinho or Havertz and Watkins. See, Watkins has been my boy for the past season. Last year,
He's
Magic
so
Ollie
lovely.
Watkins.
He's such an honest pro.
Yeah, he is. I don't know. I feel like Timo and Coutinho has a higher ceiling. So
I do.
Maybe for the end of the year, that's a better pairing.
It's stupid because the other two technically they're number 9s in Watkins and Havertz. But I just feel like that's much more fun.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, you've got loads of tinkering to do.
I do.
Are we going to chat some games?
Yeah,
we haven't had many, have we?
No, not that many. We've got 6 games to go through. Just I don't think there's anything else to run through.
Do we have to
You're not
start
doing
with
Arsenal
Tottenham?
Southampton, are you? Or we just skip that one?
Do you want to start? We'll start with Tottenham, and then we'll go Arsenal. We'll get them out of the way, and then we can talk about the rest.
Yeah.
Cool.
I went. It was horrific. Look at Tottenham.
Look at that first half. It's just horrible.
Just so slow, mate. They decided that what they want to do is, so I've said it before on the pod on here and stuff, but Conte does this thing when you've got a team that likes to press, you suck them in and try and go long and try and get through them. Well, we did the short bit and didn't do the long bit, in that we just kept playing around at the back just over and over again. So Hugo goes out to Dyer, goes right, left to Romero, Davies, back and so forth. And then there was such a reluctance to use the wing backs because they just looked at them and was like, oh, you're royal. And
Emerson literally had a good 10 sort of feet of space, like
they just
circumference away from him, and he'd never get the ball.
They just ignored him. They're just like, but then every time they actually did pass to him, he lost it immediately.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, that's why they do that. And it was playground stuff, wasn't it? It was like your kids in the playground. You were like, nah, don't pass to him, mate. Like, he's shit. Do not pass to him.
Out of interest, do you think you win that game with Doherty at right wing back in that match?
I think we do. And I think he looks the other way around and says, look, Trossard got the goal there. Where did Trossard play? Trossard played left wing back. He was so deep because he had Cucurella behind him. He was just a baller. So good.
He's quality. Yeah.
In the flesh, mate. It was so good. It's just so hard in the tackle, so quick. And I looked at him and was like, you've got to put Kulu rolling back. You've got to going forward. You can't play out these next.
What did you think of the elbow? Watching it live,
watching it live. It was nothing. It was genuinely. It was absolutely nothing. Cucurella's combative. He went straight through him. He was pushing him away, and he'd been doing it, and that's how he plays. And he got annoyed with it, but he just kept doing it. He got annoyed with it. Even Cooch wasn't that bothered about it. And the ref was close enough to it that nothing felt like it was ever going to be more than that. So I was quite surprised when I thought, oh yeah, he should go. And I was like, it just never felt like that. How Mwepu stayed on the pitch, like probably the reason Mwepu stays on the pitch is because Kulu didn't get sent off.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's no way that guy should have stayed.
Gets the booking, then kicks Ben Davies in the face.
Yeah.
I noticed they didn't show that on Match of the Day that he kicked Ben Davies in the face straight after. And then he kicked Højbjerg. And you were like, well, he's going now because he just got away with not sent off.
He had to go over and tell Potter. It's like, mate, sort the guy out, otherwise he's off.
It's like a friendly, wasn't it? It's genuinely like a friend. Oh, can you take him off before I have to send him off? Oh, yeah, all right, I'll take him off. So he just takes him off. And you're like, well, that's that gone. And then we were in the same position. We should have just taken Kulu off at halftime because it was the same deal.
Yeah.
Was that it was every time Kulu got the ball, you were like, Cooch is going to nick the ball off him and he's going to get angry and this is going to be the end. So he went in the end, but Kulu's head was rattled by Cucurella. He was so good. Reggie's just diabolical. Cess has to come. You have to play Cess and you have to play. I think Kulu has to go to right wing back, which I do think if we see that, that's not good for Kulu as an option.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, Kane and Son were so isolated yesterday. It was ridiculous. I mean, you could see the gap. If you look at the touch map when we played Brighton like 4 or 5 weeks ago, everything was a lot tighter. Everything was a lot more compact. Even the midfielders, the holding midfielders, were pushed up slightly because they had the support of the two wing backs to actually push the game forwards in front of them. But with Royale and Reguilon doing basically nothing, they had to sort of sit back, and it created this gap between Kane and Son that every time the ball went anywhere near them, Dunk was just mopping it up, and it just made it very difficult. And then because they had Mwepu in there in the first half, and then we just couldn't. Kane just wasn't dropping into that space either. And even if he had, I mean, you felt like everybody else was so far away from him. I think that he actually wouldn't have been able to do much with it anyway, and they'd have just moved out to him, and it would have been a complete waste. So it wasn't great from a football point of view. Obviously, it's terrible from a fantasy league point of view as well. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, they're so much better than us in terms of streetwise. Understanding how to play certain things. You can see it was like, oh no, they've worked us out, and there's nothing we can do here. Lamptey played virtually right centre back rather than right wing back. Like, was so tucked in because he was like, oh, Son doesn't want to play on the left. Yes, effectively, it should be a 3-man forward, but he ain't going on the left-hand side. So we'll leave Reggie out there. And then Reggie's too isolated. He hasn't got the skills to be a man on his own. He hasn't got the pace to beat them on his own. He's quick, but he's not.
You need Cucurella.
You need an all-round player. Yeah, like you say, or you need a Lamptey that is just you've got to play 2 men. So Lamptey could just stay virtually in. He never got to the line at all. He just said, I'm going to stay inside and be quick enough and look for the knockdown balls. And Dunk just goes and wins everything, and then he clears up. They were just much more clever than us. And as we tried to do stuff, we got worse. You can see it in this XG chart. Is 75 minutes as we started to try and go push for a goal, we created less, and they started creating more. It was just. It's bad.
Yeah.
Moving on?
Yeah, move on to the other ones.
Brilliant.
Oh, boy, we thought we broke him.
Oh, Bednarek, yes.
Yeah, we thought we broke him. We told everyone that he's the bonus hog and then gets nothing and then turns up. What a man.
It's been a while.
Have you seen the current situation of Arsenal's XG versus goals conceded?
I saw that simulation graphic, wasn't it? That we sometimes use the Crab graphics, and he's an Arsenal fan that does that. And it's so 2 goals from your last 7 XG. Is that?
And then our opponents have 8 from 4. So it's ideal, basically. Yeah.
But isn't that just because you actually were scoring lots of worldy goals? You know.
Well, I mean, just even in the Southampton game alone, I think we missed like a partial open goal were it not for a Fraser Forster world-class save.
The one on Saka was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Getting across goal.
Yeah, he was so good. He must be like 9 foot tall when he plays us. Every time Fraser Forster plays us, it's like his game of the season. He must just love rattling.
It's like Ben Foster for us.
He was on it, man.
Yeah.
He was absolutely on it. Like some game.
Yeah. Just couldn't convert again. It's annoying. But, you know, the Martinelli to Saka opportunity goes in, and the FPL week is drastically different for millions of managers.
It is. Well,
trying to work out how I would have felt about that, to be honest, having both. But
that's the variance, right? This week's been crazy for it. Yeah. Oh, you have?
No, I didn't captain him, but there's a lot of Saka captains.
Oh, yeah. He was over 100%.
Yeah.
Not by much, but even so.
So Arsenal, we've talked about a little bit, but the fullback situation, and it's a bit the same in Tottenham.
Yeah.
If we don't address this wing-back situation, it's big problems.
See, I thought that we had serious squad depth a couple of months ago. I was like, do you know what? We've got so many players that can just come in and fill a role, and you know, they suit the system, they play well, and then we win, and it's ideal. But really, the only depth that we actually need is a left and right back. Yeah. Otherwise, we are screwed. Honestly, it's crazy.
We both as clubs let loads of people go. For the greater good, longer term, you can't argue with the moves, but they just massively expose it. On the weekend, for Tottenham, we were just like, oh, Tanguy would be quite nice now. Gio would be quite nice now. Even Dele Alli would be nice now. And it was like, Harry Winks, we'll take him on. We'll bring Harry Winks on.
Yeah.
Good. And it's similar on this, is no fullbacks.
Yeah. So, I mean, if people are watching this and ain't expecting to, or like considering Arsenal FPL assets, I would first have a look at our fixtures, which are probably the hardest out of the top 4 contenders for the run-in, I would say. Would you agree with that? It's pretty fair, I would say.
Would you sell Saka for a Chelsea asset this week?
I would. Yep. No, I'd even consider it for a hit as well.
And I'd say the same on Kulu this week.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be bringing in any Arsenal defensive assets. If you're considering, I don't know if you'd be considering, but like, you know, like a Ben White enabler, for example, if you're on Wildcard or whatnot, I wouldn't touch it, really. Sadly, I don't think we keep a clean sheet for the rest of the season.
I think there's a general piece now that you've only got like potentially 5 transfers left. You know,
exactly. Yeah,
and you're like, I need people that are going to score a lot of points.
Yeah,
you got to chase the horse.
Even less so if you consider that you have, let's say, you're bench boosting 36, right? You wildcard 34. You got 30. You got 2 transfers, 34, 35. No, sorry, you got 35, 36, and maybe one of those is to mitigate an injury. So really, you have 1. If you think about it, and just. And either play a reactive transfer for 36 that someone's semi-knee jerky and you think they're going to do well for the double, or there's a problem injury-wise come the end of the season. Someone's getting heavily rotated who you didn't think would. You got 1 transfer. Arsenal players should not be in that bracket for consideration at this point.
Just a message in the chat said sell Kulu or Saka though. If I had to go one, I'd sell Kulu.
I would sell Kulu as well. Yeah.
Sadly, but I would.
Well, Saka's more
talented. Saka's on some set pieces as well.
Yeah.
And you know you're getting 90 minutes from him.
Yeah.
He's
as
the
bad
best
as we're going to be,
attacker.
he is the best Arsenal attacker.
Whereas Kulu's the 3rd, and potentially now he's going to just be a wing back.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, that's me saying that I hope he becomes the wing back because we're in big trouble if we don't go that way.
And presumably at this point as well, given the current scenario of FPL, you have potentially one or two other Spurs players and maybe not tripled up or doubled up on Arsenal. So the Kulu is less of a sacrifice because you have that team covered, I would imagine.
Yeah, agreed. Where else are we going? We can't have that many games, have we?
No, United.
Yeah, that one. Oh, God.
It's all right for me. I'll look at this chart all day.
What does this mean for Wednesday? Is it Wednesday they play?
Look
yes.
at that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
look at this game.
Crazy, isn't it?
But if you watch the first 5 minutes of the match, you know that you just knew that this was going to be an absolute goal fest because neither team were defending.
Well, yeah. So the first 30 seconds was First 30 seconds, Pukki was in, wasn't he? Basically, completely split them apart straight away.
Oh, God.
Which obviously you can see in the XG chart as well. So
I don't know how much I can look at this knowing that I've captained Bruno and that I've sold Salah. I just look at it and I'm like, what the hell have I done?
This game, in combination with Liverpool going 3-0 up against City in such an effective and fast fashion, I was like, I am so glad that I didn't go Son and Kane as my two singles and went Son and Salah. Even to the point where I was like, Mo Salah is gonna feast in this game. I'm telling you. And then he's just not going to play, is he? It's just going to be one of those.
It's another night. He's had another 90 minutes without scoring a goal.
Yeah, he has.
It's a long time.
It is a long time, but now I haven't got him. I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's going to bite us.
Let's call it bad form. It's fine.
It's going to bite us. But the size of the chance that United give up is the issue, isn't it? It's not even the frequency of the chance; it's the size of every single time. It's like you can just walk through them.
Yeah, it's De Gea having to pull out a world-class save each time, otherwise it's a goal. It's never just him catching the ball from a long distance.
What should those that have brought in Bruno or Ronaldo? I guess do you have to keep them for 34?
I'd hold one more week. Yeah.
And then you've because they got a blank in 37, haven't they? So
home to Brentford though.
Fancy Brentford in that fixture, don't you?
Yeah, probably. Might keep Ivan Toney for that, to be fair.
Yeah, get him in captain.
I hadn't really considered the fact that it's Ivan Toney against Man United defence. So, yeah. Pukki.
What's he had, like 6 returns in his last 4 games or something?
I'm happy that I have a wild card because Pukki is number 2 name on the team sheet.
I've owned Pukki this
Such
season.
value.
So annoying.
Do it, mate. Do it.
Yeah, I would.
Let's move on from them. What else we got?
We have got Watford Brentford.
How did that goal stand?
But the offside one? The one where Dennis's head is like a yard offside. I have no idea.
I have no idea where they pull their lines. Those lines came from somewhere we couldn't see, I swear.
It makes no sense. I don't.
The commentator, I'm not sure. I think it was Jackie Oatley who was doing the commentating for one of the TVs, not the Match of the Day one. And she did 2 brilliant moments. One is
this was a Sky commentary, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. One is the was it? Probably isn't Jackie Oatley then because she does BBC. I'm not sure it was that did it, but one is she started laughing when they didn't give the offside goal because they were like, well, that's just offside. Like, why is it not happening? And then there was a weird moment where it did like a weird freeze frame and then he just gives it. And you're like, you don't know what's going on here. You've just given that, but it's blatantly offside. And then there's the loser moment. Have you seen the commentary for that? If you've not seen it,
we'll send you that. We'll send you it.
Okay.
It's magnificent. They misses the massive chance at the end, as you can see that rest of XG.
Yeah.
And she's like, loser. loser. And then she's like, oh, I've got it. His name's Loser, and he is a loser. Loser! Just screaming down to it. It's the third time when she does it. It's absolutely magnificent. But
that's them down now, right? Sadly.
They're done, mate.
Yeah.
They're done. Tony Steele, like, I don't like it, but I watched Brighton this week, and I think he could score against Tottenham this week.
Yeah.
And he can definitely score against United. And if you hold him long enough, if you have got him, Leeds at home in 38 ain't that bad either. But
It's not.
I'd still rather have Pukki if you could have him and stuff like that. But he's probably not the biggest priority in the world.
It's a transfer I don't need to make.
Nah, it's exactly. I feel like I'm just going to just let that run. But
I think if you've got him, hold him though. I think
I mean, the
does
confidence
it
of
right
that
for
volley says that he's all over it.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's the same. He will try and put himself in the shop window this summer.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he can score against anyone.
Yeah.
If you just on a human level, you can tell that he has that kind of confidence and arrogance to know that he's a Premier League quality footballer.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So that's it. And then what we've got, Sunday games.
We've got Sunday games. Just a couple of things coming through the chat. I mean, someone's just said Wildcard 34, how Kane, Son and Kulu, not sure, all keeps. Not Kulu, for sure.
I think Son.
Son only.
Son's the only one that I would really keep, yeah.
I'd keep the one that if you fancy them as the captain for going 35, which one you do. And I think...
And Kane always does very, very well against Leicester. So if you fancy that...
there is that.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
and Liverpool.
Does well against a lot of people.
He does, generally, but
they're
good fixtures. Good fixtures for him historically, anyway. But
yeah.
Sorry, Sunday. Today.
Why didn't Chris Wood get 90 minutes?
I don't know. I actually, as soon as he came off, I was like, oh no.
It's really weird.
Another early sub against Palace, is it? 4-pointer, but we'll see. I'm hoping he gets something against Palace. That's the game that, when I picked the Newcastle assets on the free hit, that was really the target, given the fact that I knew that it was going to be a pretty tiring game against Chelsea.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Bruno, we talked about him, scores his things. And look at that XG. That's so ridiculous, that XG.
Did we mention it while we were live, or did we mention it before?
No, before, I think it was
I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just for anyone looking at that 0.6 XG, it's quite likely the 3 shots that he had, or the 4 or 5 kicks at it that he had.
Ultimately he ends up with a kick 2 yards out, doesn't he? So it is going to be high XG, is where it is. But Schmeichel's saves seemed to fly up, and the XG flew up, and I was like, they just kept counting. The repeated bashing of the ball. Really weird.
Yeah.
Leicester just looked. They actually look all right on the ball at Leicester. I do think there is a few times where they are just going to turn up and do well. Lookman scores again, and Harvey Barnes owners.
Yeah. It's a good corner routine, to be honest.
Really good corner. Yeah, considering where they're working on that. Perez and Lookman just been sitting at home working on that every week, because they've not been playing.
Well, they probably worked out that they can't get a goal by getting it in the air, given the fact they've got like Wood, Shaw, Burn, average height of.
I was going to say, Lookman and Perez are about 5'7", aren't they? Between them?
Yeah.
But about that, I think that Wood thing, even itself. Again, how would you move him on when you've got Norwich in 34 if you brought him in?
Yeah, just
got to go with it. But
it's like it's Veghorst 27 all over again, or Veghorst 31 all over again.
We'll never learn, mate. We'll never learn. The fun bit is there. If you look at it, like, I can't wait for the memes of it. Is if you look at Bruno on the screen, is like the shirt draws 4. If you look at the middle, and
it does
on his chest, and there's going to be so many pictures of Chris Wood 4 if he just gets another 2 points.
I never noticed that before.
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah.
I feel for the people that got rid of Weghorst this week for Wood, though. That's tough.
It's tough. I don't feel sorry for him.
No, no.
I was close.
I don't feel sorry for anyone. I got Ronaldo, but
Yeah, fair. We've got left West Ham.
Yes. And Nick Pope masterclass. He's still conceded.
They fell apart at the end, though, didn't they, Burnley? It's like they worked really hard for like 60, 70 minutes, and then West Ham went, actually, we do need to try here. It's like they shook off the Thursday night blues and went, better get going.
David Moyes doesn't want to seem to rest anyone. He's just...
They haven't got that many players, though, have they?
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Poor Rice and Soucek just get reeled out every game. Cresswell's on his last hamstring. He's just still gets through it.
I think someone like Declan Rice is loving it, though. I reckon he's loving it. He's just like, I'm game for this. 2 games a week, just bring it on.
Yeah.
You feel like he's the kind of player who'll just, okay, I'll play. Let's go.
I mean, Soucek could play through anything. So that double pivot's surely fine for the rest of the season.
This is the awkward bit on Burnley, guys, in like Weghorst, because you're like, Wolves at home this week. Yeah, can I bench him or not? And then Watford away, big game.
Yeah.
If he starts again in the week, like suddenly it's like, oh my God, and then he's got a double in 37. Home to Newcastle last day of the season. Weghorst could
season keeper.
He could have one more run at this.
He's got his goal. We said
that about goal, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a bad goal.
Even the header deflected off of the West Ham guy, and it was only 2 yards out.
Yeah,
it's bad.
And he's probably not on penalties, guys. So if you are considering moving him on, then don't be too upset about it. I know, obviously, it doesn't suggest, or it might be a waste of a transfer given the fixtures for the rest of the season, but a lot of the attraction to Wout originally was he was going to be the number 9 with pens.
Yeah, Adam, you told me he was on pens.
He took pens. He took pens before in Germany.
Well, I'm pretty sure Jay Rodriguez is the Burnley.
Well, I saw that Cornet obviously took the pen today.
Yeah,
but apparently Cornet persuaded Jay Rod to give it up.
He said that because he'd won it, you got to give me it.
Yeah, but so I was pretty sure that Weghorst. Yeah, but I was sure that Weghorst took pens out in Bundesliga.
I think he did. I think he was Wolfsburg pen taker, but I just think for Burnley, Jay Rodriguez has obviously got that duty.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's one to consider because obviously if people are keeping on, it's like the appeal of Pukki. It's 5.9 for a penalty taker.
Yeah, it's true.
6.4 versus 5.2 in Jay Rodriguez.
They don't often get in the box to get penalties, but yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Unless it's against United.
Probably the most interesting thing for me in this game is that both of J-Rod and Wout played 90 minutes. That never happened on a dice. You did not have 2 forwards play 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, if the minutes risk isn't there, maybe I can just leave him hanging around. They'll still.
Yeah, I don't think he's a transfer out. I'm just saying if people are holding on to him in the hope that he might start getting returns via penalties, it's just I can't see it happening.
Nah, I can't see it happening, mate. I can't see it happening. That's the beauty. We sort of finish this one, and you go, "Cool." If you're on Wildcard, you are not looking at. You don't give a shit about West Ham and Burnley, mate. You're just looking at that, going, whatever, mate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams now in there where you can just look at them and go, nah.
Yeah, it's like Wolves, Leeds, unless you consider Gelhardt or cheapos.
Southampton.
Yeah, exactly.
Not happening. Brentford not happening. Watford not. Well, maybe.
Well, Watford for Ben.
For cheap. Yeah,
cheap striker.
And they gets there. Brighton, even after those 2 wins, you're still not going anywhere near them.
I don't know how long I've had a Brighton player for this season. It can't be long. Maybe 1 game, 2 games.
At one point, I had triple Brighton defence, and it worked. Yeah.
Fair play.
But that I quickly got off that on Wildcard. Cool. So we've got many drafts. You're gonna have to show us how you get on during the week.
Yes.
We shall stay in touch for it.
Yeah.
Anything else, Adam?
Quite a few Twitter questions, I think.
There were a few Twitter questions. That's true. 1 second. Remember where my tweet is now.
Oh yeah, I got you. Best cheap defender for the run-in. This is from FPL Escapades, and also help bench boost 36. Oh God. Well, it says cheap defenders, but 4.5 to 5.5 million, and that suddenly becomes a lot more. So I'd go cash in that option because
Cash
you're just
is nice.
getting loads of games.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got,
Who do we think partners VVD in Liverpool's defence going forward? Matip or Konate?
That's the reason.
I think Matip gets a majority of the rest of the season.
I just think that's the reason you don't go either, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough for me to say don't get involved in it.
Yeah.
Because whenever Konate starts, he scores, doesn't he? He scored the last couple, has he not?
Van Dijk would be my tip for the goal this week up against Pickford, mate.
I see it. I considered him over Robertson in the wildcard. I think he's got 1 or 2 bullet headers left in him for the rest of the season.
He loves an end of season header, mate. I don't think he's the world's worst option if you need to save a bit of money somewhere. I like Van Dijk for the last few.
Yeah.
Alonso.
Oh, go on.
We said 5 options, but we didn't mention Alonso, did we?
I like Alonso. I think that's a good shout for. Wait, are you talking about on my draft?
Just in general on the wild card, is Alonso a good option?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's good. Especially, it depends what formation Tuchel wants to play for the rest of the season. Because Sarr is obviously a threat, but I mean Alonso he's in the James category of explosivity, right? So,
would you have Alonso over Laporte?
No, I wouldn't.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Do you know what? I don't think there's that much difference between Cancelo and Laporte, in all honesty. I know that sounds pretty ridiculous to say, but considering there's 1.3 million difference in value, or 1.2 now, because I think Laporte went up, but
I feel like he's dropped off a little bit though, Laporte, in the last 6 to 8 weeks. Just the way that City have been attacking, full stop, and it appears like they've got, I don't know, it just feels like they've had less set pieces and there's less deliveries into the box, which is, one of the things that I would, you'd want Laporte for. Not sure, unless you're going to get him for a 6-pointer, you want those set piece deliveries, don't you? You need them to really give you that chance of those extra points that, that header that gets saved and he gets an assist for. I'm not going to say he's going to score every header he makes, but just those.
The problem is for the run-in, Cancelo and Laporte, unless Cancelo gets regular attacking returns, I think they're both just coming away with like 6s because I can see so many goals from like a plethora of their forward line.
Yeah.
That how do they get into the bonus unless they're returning?
Well, that was it though. That was it because Cancelo didn't get an attacking return in the. Did he get an attack? Oh, he got an assist, didn't he? He got an assist in the Liverpool game and got into the bonus despite not keeping a clean sheet, and that was ahead of Trent, who got an assist.
Yeah,
which was interesting.
We've got a question in the YouTube chat from WTS. Who says, Reev, I was going to wildcard, but it's my aunt's funeral on deadline day. What should I do?
I don't know, Harry. Send me a private message about that one. Oh dear. Yeah, I think the Cancelo bonus point in the Liverpool game though is just because he had to come up against Salah so often and he made so many tackles.
Yeah, I think the Laporte one. I think when they're not winning, he has a much better chance. They seem to get more set pieces, and then the other time they tend to get them was when they're already like 2-3-0 up and they're just hammering a team, and then they get more corners. So it's almost like even when he scores, he doesn't always get the bonus because it's already in a massive game or the clean sheet's gone. I don't know. Whereas Cancelo, you feel like you can just do it anytime.
That's the thing, though. But how many attacking returns do you see Cancelo getting for the rest of the year? I mean, they're good fixtures for it, and a lot of them are pretty vulnerable from set pieces. So, I mean, if you see attacking returns from Cancelo in these fixtures, I would also see maybe 1 or 2, goals for the rest of the season from Laporte.
There's definitely one of those two is going to have a sweaty. Like you feel like the John Stones moment, don't you, in 36, and think that could be the Laporte moment.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would back Laporte to get more points than Alonso for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
if I had to do the 50-50.
And he is important. So that 36, again, it's the same deal in it. You'd think if they're through.
Yep.
It's done. Yeah. Laporte it is. Any more?
Any more questions? So there was Reev predicted Ronaldo scoring a header from a Tellez cross this game week. What is your game week 34 prediction?
Game week 34 prediction. Let's have a look at some of the fixtures.
We've got Van Dijk. We nailed that one off.
The Van Dijk one's happening. And Zaha's getting a brace against Leeds. There you go.
Oh, I like that.
Have that one.
I like that one. I guess
in before he's the most transfer player of the week. Get in there, boys. That's the influence we have.
Yeah.
Alex Baldwin on YouTube. If you're on Wildcard this week with no bench boost and plan a 3 hit 37, what strikers would you go with? Oh God.
Gelhardt, I think I definitely have.
Yeah.
There's enough chance he gets a few points here and there.
Just none.
If I didn't have bench boost, I probably would carry Kane through.
Would you?
Yeah, I
Timo?
think so. Maybe Werner. Maybe. I like the option of Richarlison and Watkins as well. So maybe I'd go Gelhardt, Richarlison, Watkins. I think you get 2 penalty takers there, so it's not a bad shot. I don't know though. Maybe Pukki. I like Pukki anyway.
I think Pukki.
Yeah.
You could even just go Pukki Dennis. If you're gonna, you just go Pukki Dennis and Gelhardt.
Could.
You're free hitting 37.
Yeah.
And work it
I
out
don't even
from
think
there.
that's a bad move. I think there's so much value in midfield for the rest of the season that it just doesn't make much sense to put it in a position that gets 2 points a game.
No. Definitely. Right, boys. Reckon we're done.
I think that's it.
I
think that's good. So I better do some admin, I guess, seeing as I didn't do it at the start.
Mate. Get your admin going.
Love the admin. So, guys, make sure you follow us all on Twitter, podcast at Above Average FPL, Bat Baker FPL343, and you can follow Ollie at the Reev HD. You can get the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever. Also on YouTube. Please make sure you subscribe to the podcast or to the YouTube or both. Leave a like, and that would be great. I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else I need to add.
We're good, boys.
We're good.
Good luck. Good luck for the rest of the wild card. Terrible luck for the rest of the season for Arsenal. And been a pleasure. I think we kept
Thank you for having me. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
I think we kept it quite civilized for a North London derby clash.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in a few weeks.
Yeah. We'll see the live action for North London derby.
You'll be doing a watch along for that, won't you? I'd imagine.
I won't because it's my birthday.
Okay. Well, actually, terrible. on the day.
It is my birthday for the North London derby. Yeah.
Are you going?
That's amazing.
I don't know. I have tickets available if I want them. So, yeah. I'll wait and see. I'll reserve judgment. My girlfriend might be doing a surprise thing, so if I answer that, then I've got bigger problems. when she turns around and tells me that you can't go anywhere. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair dues, mate. Fair dues. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
See you later,
and
mate.
Guys in the YouTube, thanks very much for joining us this evening as well. Have a good one.
Take care all. Good
Cheers.
luck.
Bye, guys.
Bye.